Hey, what's up, everybody? Just gonna be doing a quick chat, just talking about a few things. Ooh, need to move just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that just installed that new timer, kind of like that. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner off real quick. Hopefully, it doesn't get too warm in here. But yeah, just a couple little things I wanted to talk about today. In particular, uh, the rumors that they're gonna retcon the sequel trilogy, which is just absolutely uh, stupid. I mean, there's just absolutely no chance that they retcon the sequel trilogy. Oh, don't say stuff like that. That's creepy. Um, but here's the thing. So Disney's experience with the sequel trilogy was bad. Like they messed up, but the main reason that they messed up is because they never had a plan. It wasn't like the characters intrinsically were horrible. It wasn't like the writing overall was horrible. The directing wasn't horrible. The acting is probably maybe the best acting of all the movies, other than maybe Rogue One. Um, but I would say that the biggest problem they had is they literally didn't have a plan. I mean, how do you not go into that without having a script written for all three films, or at least an outline, and having consistency through without those three films? So, but Disney does realize. I think they completely understand that they messed up. I think they completely understand that they need to do something to recover from this. But it's not going to be retconning. It's not going to be using the world between worlds to say that that never happened. I know one of the theories, which is kind of interesting. If they did it, it would probably be a bad idea, but wouldn't it be the stupidest thing ever? Is for Ezra to go into the world between worlds and stop Palpatine from ever coming back. Uh, and I think that is kind of intriguing because if Palpatine never lives, he never creates Snoke. Uh, he never. I'm pretty sure that he put those visions in Leia's head, making her send Kylo Ren away to Luke, or Ben to Luke. He was behind all of that, and I don't think Kylo Ren falls. The First Order doesn't rise, I don't think, and the sequel trilogy just never happens. However, the movies are already there. They're already in people's minds. If they were to try to go back and redo that era, or even start from the Mandalorian era and then move forward on that, I just don't. I don't know if they'd ever really truly be able to get people to buy into the fact that the sequel trilogy is an alternate timeline. So, okay, so the Last Jedi. Uh, oh, wait a second. Let me look in the. So what is going on? Okay, why are these chats being blocked? What do you mean chats are being blocked? Let me. It keeps blocking your chats. Okay, so I'll cover a couple of these. You can't say something to SWB and it says it's blocking? Hmm. I'll have to look more into that here in just a little bit. I want to keep going on this. But it's. I see. I see your chat coming through, Luke. This is. I'll have to see what happens here in a second. But, I wanted to get to The Last Jedi is good. Here's the deal. I think that The Last Jedi is a phenomenal movie. I think it's an absolutely great movie. I just don't think it's that good of a Star Wars movie, and that's the biggest problem that I have. And it really kind of messed with what was going on with The Force Awakens. I mean, I don't don't get. I don't get how you have J.J. Abrams being in charge of one, and then you have Ryan Johnson being in charge of this next one, and not having them speak, not having them come together like in the beginning. Like even if they were going to have these three different directors, which was the plan in the beginning, how do you not have all three of those people that are going to be in charge of that getting together and creating an overall story for the three movies. How do you not do that? I mean, Kathleen Kennedy should lose her job just based off of that stupid decision. But I liked I thought the Last Jedi was a really good movie. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was well written. If it was just a random sci-fi film that wasn't Star Wars, I would have absolutely loved it. But yeah, it just wasn't good for Star Wars, and it really took the fan base. And Star Wars used to have one of the most loyal fan bases. Like Star Wars fans were Star Wars fans. You didn't really have too many of them say this movie really sucked, or there wasn't a lot of disagreements. I mean, pretty much everybody thought that the prequel trilogy was underwhelming back then, and most of them feel like it over time that it's gotten a better rep. But man, this sequel trilogy has just split the fan base, and that just isn't good. You don't do that to a franchise like Star Wars. I mean, look at Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, there just isn't a whole lot of dissent. There isn't a lot of. There's people that don't like Thor 2. There's people that were underwhelmed by like Iron Man 2. Okay, so what retconning is you could just outright say, like, one way that they could retcon is they could say the sequel trilogy didn't happen. Like Disney could come out and say the sequel trilogy isn't real. It was a mistake. Just ignore it. Pretend it didn't happen. In fact, that's part of Star Wars Legends right now. They could retcon it by going and using time travel or something like that with the World Between Worlds, and then say that storyline is a different parallel universe. So retconning is basically saying that something that was already canon is no longer canon. Uh, let's see. So I just really so it so Luke it so you're trying to say added you on Xbox and it wouldn't let you do that as one thing. You had to do it as separate. Because here's the deal. This is funny because usually when somebody puts something in there that's not allowed, it lets me know, and it actually shows it in the chat and says this message was deleted or retracted or something like that. I'll just have to do research on that at some point. But there's almost no benefit to them retconning the sequel trilogy. It's already done. It's already in people's minds. Now, one thing I do think that they are going to do, and they're already doing right now, is they are kind of ignoring it. Like the expanding universe. Well, the expanding universe is Legends right now. So the books that aren't part of canon, is considered Legends. But they could uh, very easily, if they wanted to, take anything that's canon and turn it into Legends, and then therefore saying that that's retconned. But it seems like Disney's kind of being sneaky and going about it in a different way. They're not marketing any merchandise for the sequel trilogy. Hasbro, which has a lot of money to be made in Star Wars merchandise, there's nothing out there. There's very little new being made. However, these toy companies are working on stuff from the Clone Wars, and you can be darn sure that they're going to be coming up with a bunch of stuff for the High Republic. They're going to have a lot of stuff from the Mandalorian and whatever shows spin off from the Mandalorian. You will see a lot of merchandise, but they're not doing that with the sequels because they understand the money's not there. And I think Disney is basically kind of acting like, you know what, we'll get people to forget about the sequel trilogy, and I think that they may try to build the story back towards that in a way to where it makes that make more sense, and then therefore people 20 years from now can look back on the sequel trilogy and say, okay, it makes more sense now, and they won't hate it as much. I think they want people to feel about the sequel trilogy what they feel about the prequel trilogy right now, which is a lot of people hated it back in when Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith came out, and now a lot of those same people love it. Uh, like like retconning the Rey lightsaber. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna retcon any of the story from any of those movies. Rey's gonna continue being who she was, which is a character that had a lot of promise after The Force Awakens, but just, God, it just, man, they just messed that up. Hey, what's up, Alex? Yes, you know what? Eat my bullets. I totally get that. I get that thought that you follow what you like, but there are people like me who like to look at things as a full story, and that's just how I consume things. And for me, what is and what isn't canon does is kind of important. Like I was a huge fan of the New Jedi Order and everything that came in after that, bookwise, that got decanonized after Disney bought it, and it took me a while to come to terms with that. But now, I am to terms with it, and I'm somebody that's just a junkie when it comes to canon. We're Alex, we're talking about canon, and then possibly decanonizing the sequel trilogy, retconning it, making it or acting like the sequel trilogy never happened, and how that's probably not going to happen. Wouldn't make any sense to make the movies and trash them. So you know what? A lot of creators do that. A lot of studios admit that something they did was bad. You'll have directors that'll look back at a movie that they did that they had every good intention on, and look back and say, "Wow, what was I thinking back then?" But I don't think that um, I could see at some point when somebody else is in charge of Lucasfilm, them coming out and saying we made a huge mistake. And I don't think they'll throw Kathleen Kennedy under the bus. I think it'll just be them basically coming out and saying we were not prepared, we did not do this properly. But going forward, we are going to have story groups. We're going to have people that get their minds together and actually develop a story with great characters, and something more cohesive in the future, which they're doing with the High Republic. Everything I've seen on the High Republic, you have all these different authors that are all communicating with each other and all making sure that they're on the same page, but they're telling separate stories, kind of like the MCU. The MCU did this great. Uh, uh, I don't know that Eat My Bullets ever had mod. I don't remember. I may have, but I don't think so. Uh, but what was I going to say? So the MCU, you have Kevin Feige, who does a good job of bringing in all these different directors, all these different writers with completely different visions, yet somehow they still all come together in a cohesive story. And I think that's where Disney has to go from here, is figuring out how to do that. I mean, there's no reason why Lucasfilm and Star Wars can't have uh, a movie that feels like a heist film and another one that feels almost like a horror film, and another one that feels like a not a high school drama, but maybe a youngling type drama or a comedy. There's no reason why you can't have all these different types of movies within the Star Wars universe, have them still come together and all feel like Star Wars. And I think what it starts with is, and the reason why Star Wars or Marvel did this so much better with Kevin Feige than Star Wars, is that Star Wars brought in these great directors, these people that know how to do big budget films, who had their own visions but weren't these huge Star Wars fans. Marvel, on the other hand, with the MCU, brought in guys like James Gunn and Taika Waititi and a lot of these other guys that were huge fans of the source material, but also they weren't big budget directors. A lot of them had never directed anything big budget before in their life. They were directors and writers who created content that was character focused. They started with the characters and they built out from there. And I think if Lucasfilm and Disney with Star Wars does the same thing and starts bringing in directors and creatives that are character focused, lore focused, and less focused on the big budget and the story around it, I think that they're gonna bounce back. It's gonna be great. But no, they're not gonna get rid of the sequel trilogy. Happened. Um, hey, Lucia, how you doing? Was there an army before the clones came? So, from what I've read up on, the Republic did not have a standing army. Each planet had their own military force, or most of them, I would say, had a military force, and they were, gosh, I almost want to say the Republic was nothing more than a economic system and not necessarily an actual real government. So yeah, there was no army to all come together. Like if they had a war with somebody from the Outer Rim, or like when the Separatists came, they literally had to uh, get each planet to send some troops in, and then even then there's not somebody that's in control of those forces. You'd have a general of this army and a general of that army, and they could do whatever they wanted. With the clone army, they were able to have a hierarchy where there's actually an organization and there's somebody in charge of the entire grand army of the Republic, and work its way down there. That's why they were a lot more efficient. uh yeah, the article on that. So first of all, the person that's really running with it is what is it? Overlord DVD is the name of the guy. Is the name of the guy's YouTube channel, and the guy's just full of it. He's just he brings up these speculations and rumors, and he's just one of those people that's a Disney Star Wars hater, and that's all he does is try to bring up drama. Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, as far as the mirrors and stuff, and there being a unlimited amount of basically many different alternate realities or possibilities or whatever. I don't necessarily mind that, but once Star Wars does that, once they do it, and they've already done it with bringing Ahsoka back, but even then, Ahsoka never technically died in Rebels and Twilight of the Apprentice Part 2. So it wasn't like Ezra pulling her out undid a death. But once you undo something that we've already seen in a movie or already seen in a show, using the world between worlds, then we can never take anything serious again. A character that we love died. Well, he's just gonna come back. It doesn't matter. Just like if the MCU were to somehow bring Tony Stark back using time travel or stuff like that, and now we can't take any of that seriously, and that totally takes away the emotion from Tony Stark dying at the end of Endgame. So I do not want Star Wars to use that unless if it's clear that that was the intention the entire time throughout the story, the original story that's being told. If the world between worlds was the part of the overall plot, then I'm okay with it, but not to clean up mistakes. Let's see. Let's consider the old Clone Wars canon, and that's once again, if you consider that canon and you love that stuff, man, just love it for what it is. I've even actually thought about going back through and maybe doing a where we start off with maybe the first New Jedi Order book and discuss it, and maybe have like a book group where we just go through and reread what's Legends, and if we enjoy it, we enjoy it. So be it. Uh, but for a lot, like I said, for a lot of people, what is canon is important. It doesn't have to be for you. Doe, we'll see you later. Um, so the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I think is was it Alex that brought up the whole alien invasion type thing, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit more because this is something that I'm really I'm passionate about the idea of alien movies because I'm so sick of seeing the same exact alien invasion movie where you have uh, an alien species coming to our planet that their only intention is to destroy all of us. They can't even communicate with us. They're completely bad. I mean, it's I hate that. I like villains to have some complexity to them. In most alien invasion movies, there's no complexity to the aliens. They all want the same thing. They all want to destroy all of humankind, which is it's ridiculous anyways, because all they'd have to do is just take some of our DNA, create a biochemical weapon or whatever, which they'd have the technology to do, drop it on the planet, and we're all dead almost immediately. And they have their planet. They could do whatever they want with it. So the concept that they're going to use ray guns and bombs and stuff like that to attack us is just absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, but I firmly stand with the idea that if you've developed as a society enough to traverse the galaxy, you've learned how to work together with other people, and you're probably a lot more benevolent. And I don't think that you're trying to destroy an entire species from another planet. And as far as resources, we have nothing on Earth that isn't plentiful within the rest of the galaxy, including the rest of the solar system. There's more water uh, on other planet or on the other moons in the solar system. There is in the asteroids than what there is on Earth. Every single element that's on Earth, there's plenty in asteroids and stuff like that. Literally no reason for them to come to Earth and just kill us all. Plain and simply. But what I really want to do is I want to see an alien invasion, not an alien. We're making fun of extraterrestrial life, but I want, and I think it's oh, what was it called? There was a show on what was it called? Hold on a second, I gotta look at this real quick. Sci-fi show aliens. It was Defiance. So Defiance was about as close as what I've seen, and in that, yes, they came here to take over Earth. I think there was a war or whatever, but eventually they settled down. And even though there were differences in these other alien species, they we were all able to kind of come together as people, and it wasn't. They were more complex characters, and I really want to see that with an alien type movie. In fact, the perfect alien movie to me would be from their perspective in the beginning, and they're coming to Earth, and whatever reason it is that they're going to make contact with us, but to have them disagree about how to handle the situation. One of the reasons why they could attack us is if they look at our technology and the way we utilize it and how brutal we are towards each other. And if there was an argument on their part that says basically, we're going to kill all the humans because we feel like if we let them to continue to develop their technology, they're going to be a threat to the rest of the galaxy. If they saw something within us that they didn't feel like we were going to change enough once we get that technology, and we could wipe out everybody else in the galaxy, and they decided that they were going to end us because of that. And even within that, I think that the ethics of these alien races would be to a point where it wouldn't be everybody within that alien organization, whether it's a galactic empire that's got many different species or just one specific, empire that started from the same planet. But if they were to, there would be arguments. They wouldn't all be on the same page. Even if some of them have said, "Let's take care of, let's kill these humans because we're afraid of what they'll become." There's going to be disagreements amongst all of them. There's going to be some that are going to want to at least have conversations with us and try to make to negotiate the terms of how we are going to continue to exist. There's going to be others that feel like, hey, you know what? You remember a million years ago, back when we were more violent and we were able to evolve beyond that, and that to me would be the perfect alien type movie where there's different factions, different belief structures within this alien organization, but also from our end, uh, there's going to be some of us that are going to trust them. There's going to be some of us that are going to take. I would say that there's going to be a lot of medical technology that they would give to us. They cure a lot of our diseases. Heck, if they came right now, they could just wipe out COVID, whatever it is. And then there's others that would be completely. Uh, untrusting of them and would want us to wage a war, even though that would be stupid because we get wiped out. And I just think that all these different ideologies amongst the humans and then the aliens, and seeing how that all played out, to me would be the best kind of alien movie. If I see another Netflix alien show that's about an alien invasion, I'm gonna freaking scream. I just don't want to see it. So the next thing I'm gonna do, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, is I've been watching a lot of Star Wars tribute videos, and in particular, ones that maybe overlap the different movies, animated shows, or whatever, to tell a story about a certain character or a certain concept throughout the entire thing. And usually these tribute videos are 8 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. So I'm going to do my first reaction video on this, and even though I have seen it, I still think this one is amazing, and I'd like to get a reaction video done on this. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, so we're going to do one. It's called I Am No Jedi, and it's a absolutely beautiful tribute video to Ahsoka. So let me get this together, and then I'm going to cut this. Once this is done, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to add it to... Oh, excuse me. 1 second. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to turn this into its own, however long video, which is going to be a reaction video to this. So, let's see if I can find this real quick. Do I want to keep chat on? You know what? Let's just keep chat off. I'm going to see how the audio is on this. Alright, I'm going to need somebody, if anybody, if you're watching, let me know how the audio on this sounds. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to do this. Let's see if this works. I think I might be up a little bit too high.
And who are you supposed to be?
I'm Ahsoka. Master Yoda sent me.
Need workers' comp insurance? Get
No!
Insurance.
All right.
Trusted by over 100,000 customers.
Wait a second.
Prices, save 10%
Why?
by
Why?
immediate approval. Online certificate in seconds.
I'm definitely going to have to edit that part out.
This weapon is your life, but it is also your responsibility. Don't let it out of your sight.
I don't see why you won't just listen to me.
I do listen to you, Master. I just don't like being treated like a youngling.
You must have patience.
You need to be more quiet, young one.
Okay.
Not quiet with your mouth, quiet with your mind.
Yeah, all the
You've
great
adopted
lessons.
many of your master's ways, including a lack of
Come and get him.
subtlety.
What are you trying to prove, anyway?
But I'm not too young to be a Padawan.
Ahsoka, a very wise Jedi once said nothing happens by accident. It is the will of the Force that you are at my side. Just want to keep you there in one piece.
Clouded by the dark side. These things are, Padawantano. Dangerously clouded. But not just surrounding you. Surrounding many things in these times.
I am your future, your potential.
Liar! Liar!
There is a wildness to you, young one.
You're reckless, little one. You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan.
Seeds of the dark side planted by your master.
But you might make it as mine.
That scene
No.
is so
He is
beautiful
like no
after
other
the fact.
Jedi. Passionate, impulsive, but I trust him with my life.
There are many contradictions in you and in him.
Let him cast the sweet.
Now let's try that again.
Little.
Ahsoka!
I feel more like myself than I ever have. Be warned. You may never see your future if you remain his student.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
No! Ahsoka, I am so sorry.
For what?
For letting you go. For letting you get taken. It was my fault.
No, Master. It wasn't your fault. You already did everything you could. Everything you had to do. When I was out there, alone, all I had was your training and the lessons you taught me. And because of you, I did survive. And not only that, I was able to lead others to survive as well. I lost so many of my pilots.
She was so her master's student.
Take heart, little one. That's the reality of command.
I am so sorry. They're all gone.
I don't know who to trust.
Listen, I would never let anyone hurt you, Ahsoka. Never.
No, I'm not going to take the fall for something I didn't do.
Trust me.
Anakin, you have to trust me now. Wish me luck.
Ahsoka, wait!
I'm not impressed. Sorry to interrupt your playtime, Grumpy, but wouldn't you prefer a challenge?
Her insults get so much better as time goes by.
It is the Council's opinion that Padawan Ahsoka Tano has committed sedition against the Republic, and thus, she will be expelled from the Jedi Order.
Gosh, Mace is such a jerk. Second, why is
I'm sorry, Master. But I'm not coming back.
Ahsoka. Why are you doing this?
The Council didn't trust me. So how can I trust myself?
What about me? I believed in you. I stood by you. Ahsoka, why did you leave?
I know you believe in me, Anakin, and I'm grateful for that. But this isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now.
Ahsoka, you are making a mistake. Where were you when I needed you?
I made a choice. I couldn't stay.
So sad.
You abandoned me. You failed me. Do you know what I've become?
Anakin, please!
You were my brother, Anakin!
Powerful.
No! No!
The apprentice lives.
Ahsoka?
It's all right, Ahsoka. It's okay. You're safe, Ahsoka. It's your duty to save as many lives as you can. But letting go of our attachments is a difficult struggle for
Rex.
all of us.
What's happening?
Accept Order 66.
Find him. What?
Fight him!
In my book, experience outranks everything. In my book, experience outranks everything.
Rex? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Cut all them off! Too many of them!
get so confused sometimes.
Such a
It's
great moment
forbidden
right there.
for Jedi to form attachments, yet we're supposed to be compassionate.
Don't lose 1,000 lives just to save one.
I understand that as usual you're playing politics. This is why the people have lost faith in the Jedi. I had too, until I was reminded of what the Order means to people who truly need us. I am here to bring you to justice.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Then I will avenge his death.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Oh, yes.
And now, the student will kill the master.
I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
That's it, young one. Use your anger. Use your pain. Let it fuel you. Fuel.
I was beginning to believe I knew who you were behind that mask. But it's impossible. Anakin, my master could never be as vile as you. I won't leave you. Not this time.
Then you will die.
No, would they throw that in there? No! I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do a little editing out. I should, I probably won't do these, reaction vids live in the future, though. Obviously, I can't control when ads are gonna be on there. Gosh, to know what was going through his head right there would be awesome.
May the Force be with you, Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely freaking beautiful. Let's see here. Let's yeah, that was, you know what? So I'm gonna be doing some more of these reaction videos here. Let's see. I want to look at the chat here. Oh, let's see. I'm going to look at some of the reactions, and then I'll kind of talk about what my kind of game plan is on these reaction videos. Because honestly, I really enjoy those types of videos. In fact, I've been watching a bunch of them. Hey Brother Clone Wars Tribute. Okay. How unfortunate that Logan's joined the chat. Yes, very unfortunate. 10th man down. Hey, what's up, Garrett? Logan got free tacos. Nice. Yeah, that song is just at the end of that. It's so perfect. Yes, I agree. Filoni, that's why he needs to be in charge of the creative part of Star Wars. Let Favreau be in charge of like the organization part. Upload a video on your channel. I will look at that. Eat my bullets. Are you invisible? I wasn't looking at chat. There was no way for me to know if you were invisible or not. So yeah. So so this is how I'm gonna do this, and obviously you guys can put stuff in chat right now as far as tribute videos you want me to see. I'm probably not gonna remember those. However, when I re-upload what I just did there, and actually I'm gonna add just a little bit more insight that I have, and when I do that on those videos, if you could put below in the comments what you want me to do next for tribute video, then I'll kind of start working on some of those. But anything you put in chat right now, more than likely, I'm not going to remember to. Uh, if you're on your PS4 account on media, I could kind of look at that. There, eat my bullets. Um, so yeah, let's talk about that. Like that tribute video, why it's so great is it shows the story of her overall and a way that you're reminded of who she was in the beginning, the snippy, um, immature teenager, and what she becomes, which is a wise Jedi. I mean, even though she's not a Jedi, she's a Jedi. She encompasses everything that a Jedi should be. Uh, do before the dark times. When I upload the actual reaction video by itself, put that in the comments because I won't remember these things. Yeah, I've been scouring these. So there's one on Kenobi. There's one on the Skywalker saga. There's actually a pretty good one on Rey that I just saw today. Um, and uh, a lot of these, I think the great thing about them is that they're great opportunities for people that don't know some of these characters to see these and kind of be like, wow, that's a really cool character. Maybe could get into watching some of these shows. What I really like though are the tribute videos that kind of bring in the animated and the live action together. Because in those instances, you can kind of see where the story comes together. Like in the I Am No Jedi video where they brought in Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight, and some of the other stuff from the movies I thought was just absolutely great. But I think, crap, it's July. Yep, we're finally onto the second half of 2020. Hopefully, the second half is better than the first half of this year. I don't know if it can get much worse. Oh gosh, I shouldn't say that. I just jinxed us. My bad. But I think that's all I've got for right now. I'm going to. It's in about an hour and a half. If you guys have never watched the movie trivia Schmodown, I'm going to put a link in the description. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's a movie trivia stuff, and there's actually a Star Wars tournament going on, and massive chickens attack beaches. Okay, all right, that's cool. I just won't go to the beach. I'll be fine. But there's a Star Wars tournament going on today. It's a trivia tournament, or trivia contest is part of a tournament, and it's I think it's going to be pretty cool. So it's actually on Twitch. I'll put a link in the description below if anybody wants to watch that. It's a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what. As much as I think I know about Star Wars, I watch these matches, and I would get absolutely destroyed in a Star Wars trivia competition. These people, I mean, they literally know who played that third stormtrooper on the left in Empire Strikes Back in that one scene. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. Going to Puerto Rico July 5th. Nice. Yeah, get out in the sun, enjoy some life, man. That sounds freaking awesome. But anyways, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna try before I watch the trivia match. I'm going to attempt to get that video done for the reaction video cut. Put a little bit of commentary in before and after, and get that posted. So everybody have a great day. May the force be with you. I'll be back on from 6 to 9 Central tomorrow to play Battlefront 2. So